Good evening, this is Youthology on AUK Radio, brought to you by Attentive, every 2 Wednesdays of the month at 6pm to 7pm. I'm your host, Kat, and
Hi, I'm Liba.
And today in the studio I've got...
Hi, I'm Tamar. How are we doing today, guys?
So the topic for today is ULCA Committee, the changes of social media and Step Forward Luton. So first, I'm going to get Tamar to introduce himself and a bit about himself.
Hey guys, I'm Tamar Lovindeer Robinson. I'm in the studio here in Luton, and first of all I have to say I'm here with some great people who've got a great setup going on here. Just so you know, the setup is great.
Oh, thank you,
Everyone here is young and youthful and doing their thing, and genuinely it's great to be here. Yeah. So I'm from Luton originally, and I've lived here most of my life, apart from when I was at Brunel for 3 years when I did my undergraduate.
Oh, wow.
And then went back to do my master's very recently, which was just 1 year, and I spent 2 years in London then, but I'm based now in Luton full time.
Nice. So what can you tell us that someone might not know about you?
That might not know about me? Wow, well, everybody knows I'm an Arsenal fan, but what they might not know is that I used to be a really fast sprinter in junior school. And then when I got to high school, everyone got taller than me and out-sprinted me all the time. So, yeah, I was a fast sprinter back in the day. Yeah.
And what would you say are 3 words to describe yourself?
Driven, determined, and passionate.
Nice.
Yeah.
So can you tell us who you work for at this point?
Yeah, so you mentioned the ULCA Committee. So that is a volunteer organisation that I've been working with since 2021. Mm-hmm. Everyone involved in the organisation, as I said, is a volunteer. So we do that in our spare time, whether it's 1 hour, 2 hour per week.
What does ULCA stand for, please, just for our listeners?
I'm glad you asked. So it's the United Luton Caribbean and African Committee.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you want to be when you were at school?
When I was at school, I wanted to be a business owner. I wanted to own my own bakery.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you bake now?
I have no knowledge or interest in baking. It was about eating the baked goods, 100%. But, I can learn. It's not too late to learn how to do that stuff. But yeah, when I was young, I wanted to own my own bakery, definitely. That was me. Yeah, and I actually went on to run a tuck shop out of my locker. I was that guy who would be selling everything in the school at lunchtime. And
Did you not get in trouble for that?
There's a funny story about that, actually. The deputy head of year caught me selling food in a English lesson.
Oh no.
To be fair, I was actually kind of trying to get out of the game by then, genuinely, but
oh my gosh,
the people wanted to be back in. They wanted the stuff, so they wanted the crisps, they wanted the sweets, and then somebody asked for something during the lesson, and foolishly I opened the bag and the deputy was right behind me.
Oh
yeah, but it's fine. My mum worked at the school. She probably patterned something for me behind the scenes. I don't know, so it was fine. Yeah.
Okay, so you might have kind of a business mindset already. So what would you say your greatest achievement is so far?
My greatest achievement so far, definitely when I decided to incorporate my own business, because I did it in 2019, and I did it when I was really frustrated with my full-time job at the time. I worked in a hotel, in a hotel chain. Can I say the name of the hotel chain, do you think? I'm going to say it anyway. It was Premier Inn. Okay, I worked at Premier Inn, and they'd gone through a couple of rounds of redundancy, and they were generally just putting a lot of pressure on us. And at the time, I was a assistant/hotel manager based in one hotel. Yeah.
Okay.
And this hotel, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was non-stop. So at that point, I said, I've had enough of this hospitality, working a lot of hours. Let me build something of my own, and that's when I started doing that.
Oh, okay, so that might have been a challenge. Do you think there's any other challenges that might have come your way?
I think it's in communicating to people what it is exactly I'm doing, because I do a lot of things, I wear many hats. So whenever someone's asking me what I'm up to, what I'm doing, they'll see the look in my face where I go blank, because I'm like, I'm doing 1,000 things. So which one am I going to say now? Okay, so yeah, whether I'm building my own business, working in the community, doing litter picking. There's always something that I'm up to. So it's just juggling that and then communicating that to my friends and family, saying, hey guys, this is what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say your biggest influence has been growing up?
My biggest influence, I've got so many that I will probably just hone in on my mum and my brothers. They've been a huge influence to me. And actually, as I was coming to this interview, I was thinking about when we were growing up, we used to play this game called Dynasty Warriors. I don't know if anyone knows, if you guys have ever heard of it, but basically it's like a beat 'em up game on the PlayStation. And in that game, you do a lot of strategy. Okay. You always do a lot of strategy. And whenever I've been looking at my business or what I'm doing going forwards, and then eventually I did a master's in AI and strategy's been there the whole time. So when I think to myself, wow, if I never had the chance to play that game with my brother back in the day, would I really have this interest in strategy and gaming and winning? I don't know, but that's where my mind went to when you asked me that.
Yeah, so where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
5 years? Can I say Mayor of Luton? Is that okay? Can I say that?
That's fine.
Yeah, Mayor of Luton. Let's run
like
it.
The
Let's
ambition.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. The next election will be in 4 years, so give me an extra year after that.
You need to start working hard.
Harder than I am now. Okay, that's going to be tough, but I'll do it. It's fine.
So we're going to start talking about your role. So you are the joint chair of the United Caribbean African Committee. So can you tell our listeners an overview of the ULCA committee, please?
Yeah, 100%. So myself and my other co-chair, Soraya Bowen. So I said we're voluntary, but we've been doing it since 2021. When we became co-chairs, we were elected by our peers, which is great. And we've been mentored and supported by an organisation called ACCDF.
Okay.
So they are the, if I get this right, African Caribbean Community Development Fund.
Nice.
And specifically in that organisation, there's two people that really supported us. There's Councillor Jackie Burnett. So she's a councillor for, I believe, Lucy Ward. That might be different now, but she's a councillor in the town. And then the other lady is Lorna Markland, who's a director in the company. So the two of those supported us as an organisation to start getting involved with community events in Luton. And the main one which we've been involved in is the flag racing at Windrush Day, which happens, well, it's a national event. It's a National Windrush Day. It's the 22nd of June. So we've got one coming up, well, in about a month's time. And initially it was started by those in the community who wanted to honour the Windrush generation in some form, in some way. And we've been lucky enough, ULCAC, to have gotten involved at a certain point and carry on the hard and good work that's already been done by loads of Caribbeans, Africans in the community already. So yeah, that's how we came to be. And we also get involved with Black History Month events and just generally having a social media presence in Luton and making sure people understand that we're here, we're real, we do stuff in the town.
Nice. So if you was to summarise your main aims and objectives, how would you summarise them?
So it's giving a voice for the community and actually being, as I said, united, because Luton is super diverse anyway. Then you start to get into the detail and you see, wow, there's Africans, there's Caribbeans, there's those that are born in that country, and there's born in Africa and in the Caribbean. Those are born in Luton and in England and the rest of the world. So bringing people together under one kind of veil is difficult, but it's about just having the opportunity to voice people's opinions. So if we have to go to speak to the Luton Council, which we have done many times, it's coming as one voice. Mm-hmm. It can't be divided, because if the French Africans have an opinion and the British Caribbeans have an opinion, if we can agree on the opinion, then it's worth presenting it in one voice rather than being divided, basically. Yeah.
I really like the message that you just put there, because I don't think a lot of people realise the difference between the communities within the Black community. For example, there's the Caribbean community who came here and from the Caribbean, and they're completely different to the ones who are third generation. And then you have the African community who are on about second, third generation right now, whereas the like I'm gonna say Jamaican because I'm Jamaican, but the Caribbean community, they're like on about 4th, 5th generation, and it's crazy the differences of culture. But at the end of the day, we're all black, and I think that we do need to just come together. But yeah, and I think it's more important that people understand those differences and get to know the same way we should all understand each other's cultures.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, so how many people would you say are involved in the UCAC, and how many people does it serve?
Well, let me get this correct, because when we started, I think there was 7 or 8 of us, I want to say. Then over the first couple of years, people make their own decisions about where they put their time in, because there's a volunteer organisation, so naturally we all have our other priorities. However, so I think we went down to maybe 5 or 6. We are always looking to grow, because at the end of the day, you always need manpower, you need energy to be able to turn up and be yourself fully in the community. So we serve. Well, at Windrush Day, we had probably 250 people each of the 2 days. We did the Thursday and the Saturday, so there's probably about 250 people at each event. And then when you look at social media, when you look at the reach, it will go into the thousands. I think we did a post last October for Black History Month. It was called Saluting Our Sisters, and we decided to big up loads of people from the community, but nationally and international kind of women that have done great things in the community. And the one that blew up was the one we highlighted, Meghan Markle, and that got like 100,000, reach. And he had a lot of people going at it in the comments, but we were just doing our thing. We wanted to big up Meghan Markle, who has done things for the black community in the UK. She did one of the hardest things, which is take on the royal family. So, yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, let's not get into that one too much, but I get what you're saying. So how does the committee serve the Caribbean and African communities in Luton?
The committee, we got involved with what's called it's called the Black Lives Matters motion. We'll put it that way, because the way it was formulated, it was called, I think, the motion for improving black lives in the town. But it came about after the Black Lives Matter motions that happened back in 2020. So again, thank you to those in the community that did the hard work to start off this process, because if it wasn't for them, our organisation wouldn't have been able to do what we're doing now, which is be able to work with the council and monitor and scrutinise the work that they're doing in the town. So we meet them yearly to discuss progress against some policy actions that they put in place to improve lives of black people in the town. So that's probably the main engagement point with the council at the moment from us.
Okay, so what would you say are your most proudest moments, or what are you most proud of achieving?
With being part of the committee?
Yep.
Well, last year's event, which was the 75th anniversary of the Windrush, the Empire Windrush ship coming to the UK, we had a special guest. Her name was Rosie Allen. So Mrs. Rosie Allen, she was 103 years old. She was our special guest, but she also had a birthday recently, so shout out to Mrs. Allen, happy birthday for a few months ago. So yeah, she was over 100 years old, and she had 5 generations of her family there on that day celebrating with us. So as a team, for our elders or our next generation coming up, that's a massive achievement, and I don't think it's talked about enough. So we were on BBC News, we have uploaded it to YouTube, it's all there. It happened in the town, and maybe people need to just lock in a bit more and just see what we're doing over here. Yeah.
I would say that is quite a big achievement, because a lot of the community are sadly going away now, so we must celebrate the ones that we have. In what ways does the committee promote cultural awareness and celebrate the diversity of the Caribbean and African communities in Luton?
I mean, just from turning up and being ourselves straight away, I think we're already doing that, because when you show up in a place and you allow yourself to be yourself, you're already representing so many things and so many people that have come before you. Again, like myself and my co-chair, Soraya, we're very active in the community. We get out and about, and the wider team, they will support us, messaging, and our WhatsApp group is always very active in terms of letting us know what's happening in the community. So we also will repost, share other events that are happening, shine a light on them. So even if we are not organising or being there ourselves, we'll make sure that other people know that it's happening. Because that's often what's said in Luton as well. Nothing's going on. But no, there's plenty going on. So we just share it.
There's quite a lot going on, but it's not promoted in a way in which everyone finds out about it.
Well, if you Google Luton and Caribbean or Luton Caribbean African, we would come up first. Our Facebook, our Instagram would come up first. So we've nailed the, what's it called, SEO. The rest is over to the community as well to give us that stuff for us to put out. Because if you're BBC, if you're international, you search Luton and Caribbean African, we're one of the first. We're probably the first thing that comes up actually. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So going forward, what would you say your future plans are?
Well, me and Saraya talked about this last year. We said at one point we would love to retire on the beach in the Bahamas, but for now, the next 4 or 5 years is about getting a bigger group together, but maybe a bit of succession because we're co-chairs. We don't intend to be co-chairs for the rest of our lives. You know, when organisations are up and running, those positions will reset like annually or however. So we just really want to get some good energy into the committee. Keep growing with our elders because they guide us, but bring through the next lot who can see what we're doing, and hopefully, we can retire on that beach in Bahamas in 4 years, maybe.
Yeah, we all hope to retire on the Bahamas or somewhere in the Caribbean, please. So let's talk a bit about Step Forward Luton. So you are involved with Step Forward Luton alongside our Managing Director, Montel. So can you tell our listeners a bit about Step Forward Luton, what it is and why you got involved?
Yeah, so Step Forward Luton is a place brand, first and foremost. So it's almost like an entity which is there to promote the town and for it to be a central hub or point of contact for if people want to engage with the town. So before I even joined Step Forward Luton, I was doing a lot of litter picks. I'd go in Wardown Park, I'd go in Stockwood Park, I'd go up to Farley Hill. I would do these things just in my own free time, and then I'll be making YouTube videos showing about fly tipping and just generally just raising awareness for things that are our everyday community stuff. So when I got word that they were starting a place brand to promote the town, I said, I'm in there straight away. My Instagram was also called Senor Luton, which is Spanish for Mister, right? So Senor Luton, I was like, of course I'm going to join Step Forward Luton. And the first meeting we had was actually on my birthday. So I went there down to the chambers, and there was this is one of the sessions, rooms full of people who love the town, care about the town, and want to highlight the things that are going well in the town. Not to say there's not bad stuff, but the point is that when someone says something negative, maybe it takes 5, 6, 7 positive things to change people's opinion. And I thought, you know what, this place is calling me. The timing was right because I've been living in London for 2 years and I was getting ready to move back to Luton. So being an ambassador is something I take very seriously. Like going to Brunel twice, I'll go around, I'll say I'm a Brunel alumnus. And then wherever I go, I want to show up and show out for my community.
Okay, so who else is involved in Step Forward Luton and how exactly does it work?
Yeah, so there's quite a lot of people involved. First of all, there's 2 wings. There's like a business and investment side. And then there's what you would call the ambassadors and the general public side. Let's call it like that. And the way that it works at the moment, we have just had a board created. I'm on the board as well. So first of all, it's just an ambassador, but now I'm also on the board. The board is made up of a few people who actually decided again to step forward another step to actually guide the strategic direction of Step Forward Luton. Because at the moment, it's in such early stages. Everything you would see on the website is essentially what it is. It's a place brand. It's somewhere for people to see under one umbrella what's good happening in the town and to just really give it a good go, because there's been previous efforts to bring people together. There's been Love Luton, there's been some other ones that are like marketing, but this is like a place brand to say, look, this is the premier way of looking at the town. Let's look at it through this lens, and then whatever happens after that is it's going to be good, hopefully.
So if the campaign could do or achieve one thing in your opinion, what would it be?
To get Stormzy to perform live in Luton. That would be A1. But
have you messaged him yet? Like, have you tried DMing him?
No, I emailed I DM'd Rihanna a few years ago, but she didn't answer. So, but yeah, if Stormzy can come to Luton, because I'm sure he's doing good bits all around the UK. If he can come to Luton at some point to do something, I'm just saying. Hashtag Murky, like, come through. But no, okay. The real answer is just those people that are growing up in the town should grow up knowing that where they live is actually a place of worth. It shouldn't be just about the negative side of things, because there's negative stuff wherever you live in the world. I went to Colombia recently. There's a lot of negative stuff happening, but people still show up every day, look after their street, dance, listen to music, and they're happy. But one of the things is you can't just always talk negatively about a place, because that's all it will ever be if that's what you do. So even this, I say, take the good with the bad, the yin and the yang. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because there's good stuff happening. So don't sleep on it, basically.
Yeah, so essentially just bringing out the positives of Luton and making people aware that it's worth living here. This is what we bring. This is what we do to bring our communities together. Okay, so being an ambassador of the project, what are you exactly going to do?
What am I exactly going to do?
Yeah, so what are you doing?
I'm promoting the brand every day. I will share what is posted on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. I have some plans to host some local, what I would call coffee chats in and around the town, or even in other boroughs or wards, as they call them, just to get people to step forward, I'll say it again, and to engage with the premise that whatever you think about the town is valid, but what if we just look at it in another way? There's nothing wrong with that. So what I'm trying to do is do the online stuff and the physical stuff, and just make sure that they're both in alignment. Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about who else is involved in Step Forward Luton, and also how does it work?
Okay, so who's involved with it? So many different community leaders got involved. So if you were to go to Step Forward Luton website, you would see the list of ambassadors. There's probably about 25 at the moment, 25, 30. And then there's been more people been joining the list. So Montel, as you mentioned, the managing director, he was elected as one of the co-chairs, which is great. Worked with Montel a few times, and he's very much a champion for the town and for everything happening in it. Even this setup now is a testament to what he's put into the town. So he's part of the setup, as well as a overall chair and another co-chair. And in terms of, did you say get involved? Did you say, what was the question about getting involved? What's it?
Yeah.
So the Step Forward Luton website will post a what's happening section, so you'll be able to see whenever there's any actual Step Forward Luton events that they're hosting, but you'll also be able to see any other events which are partnering with them or going under the same banner as them. And the biggest one that they got involved with was Radio 1 Big Weekend. So they were very instrumental, as well as the council, in bringing Radio 1's Big Weekend to Luton, because they would have seen the town, they would have profiled the town, they would have seen the football doing well. And I think part of it is looking at it and going, actually, this place is worth bringing these music artists to, let's do it. So that's probably the biggest way of getting involved, is just getting involved with Radio 1 Big Weekend and knowing that this is a big thing. Yeah.
So what would you say, in your opinion, is one of the biggest things that you want to achieve through this project?
Yeah. Personally, I want that my family, my friends can engage with the project as well, and that starts a ripple effect to me. So I may be one person, then I may just talk to one person. No, I'll talk to many people, but they will all continue to talk to many people. So what might start off as a small effort, talking to 10 people, it ripples, and you'd be surprised the amount of people you know or influence, either directly or indirectly, really. And my intention is just for, first of all, the communities to come together, but to understand that if you put time and energy and effort into a place and invest in it with people who are like-minded, who knows what's going to happen? You can do some great stuff.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of great that does come out of Luton, but as you said, because it gets a bad name so much, like no one even wants to come here or see what's going on.
It's just like saying one negative is enough to like ruin an image, and then there's so much positives that need to be said in order to cover up that negative or kind of lessen the effect of it. But yeah.
Well said. I mean, I've come back to the town, 3 times? I've lived out 3 times. I've come back each time, but people can ask me, why'd you come back? Why'd you come back?
Why do you come back? Tamar?
My family. No, I love my family, and I really want to make this place a great place for my family. But for the people that love life, like if you love life, you love living in a way where you impact people positively. You want to make places better. If you go and live in Dubai, which is already done, everything's done there. When you live somewhere where it's not done, you're actually putting down your own roots. So, yeah.
Thank you, Tamar. We've really enjoyed speaking to you.
Thank you. Thanks for having
Do
me.
you have anything else to add?
No, not really. I think what you're doing is great, and I'd be looking more into Step Forward Luton. It sounds good.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Shout out to everybody listening and friends and family. I love you guys.
And yeah, do you have any encouragement for people joining your movements?
Well, the encouragement is to just try and stay balanced. As I said, there will be negative comments. There will be positive comments. You can give them the right level of attention. So don't ignore the negative comments and don't undervalue the positive ones. Just bring them together and you'll see things clearly in more of a reality is my hope for people to get involved with things happening in the community. Okay? Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Tamar.